I'm Jason with Lemon Branch DIY, and I'm here to kind of go through another project that we're working on. And what we're working on today is the columns on the front of our house. There's some damage to them, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do to give it a quick fix. Okay, as you can see, these columns have kind of had a rough time with the moisture in the winter that we've had. And so some of the corners are a little bit damaged, as you can see. And what we're going to do is I'm going to first do some putty, and then I'm going to paint over the top of it. So I'm just going to use some silicone to kind of fill in some of those corners, and then I'll use some paint over the top of it. But before we do any of that, I'll show you kind of the things that I'm going to be using. I just got some of that frog tape or painter's tape, and I'm going to paint everything around just on the right there on the concrete, so I don't get any paint or over spray or anything like that over the top of it. I'm just going to use some of this DAP, the painting caulk. It's just a nice caulk that's paintable. And then of course the paint, and that's the paint that we used originally to paint the columns. So this is the stuff that I'm going to use, and so I'll start getting it prepped and show you what I'm going to use with the caulk, or how I'm going to use the caulk. Okay, got it all prepped, got it all taped off, and now I'm going to start working on the caulk. Okay, I just used the caulk gun, and you can see I just threw it on there. I just gooped it up. It looks terrible right now, but this is the trick that I have. Okay, so what I came across a couple years ago is just baby wipes. So what I'll do is I'll use my finger, and I'll kind of smooth out around all of the edges. And so I'll just kind of make it, just goop it up really good. I'm not too concerned about how clean it looks or anything like that. You can see it's just a real goopy mess. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a baby wipe, and since it's already wet, I'm just going to slowly move it across like that, and it gives me a really nice clean finish. So I'll just kind of do that and clean up all the edges, and use this technique all the way around and get it nice and clean like that. Then we'll paint it afterwards. I'm just taking the caulk gun, and an area like this where there's a big hole, I am just going to goop it up like crazy. And like I said, I'm not caring too much about the mess that I'm making. I just want to make sure that I'm getting enough into that hole and along some of these edges that have kind of separated. So I'm just going to kind of goop it all along there. Once I've done that, now we'll just go back through. I'll use my finger first to just kind of smash it into all those holes and around the corners, things like that. Now what we're going to do is we'll pull back out those baby wipes, and it'll clean it all up just like I did over on this side. That leaves it a really nice clean finish as we work on the corner here. And you can see how the baby wipe just kind of helps fill in all those little cracks and smooths everything out all at the same time. And it's removing a lot of the excess silicone that we have there. And I'll work on that for just a little bit so I can have both my hands, but you get an idea of kind of where we're going with it. Okay, so I've kind of worked on it just a little bit. I'll still work on it just a little bit more just to kind of smooth everything out. But you can see at least the main gaps and everything are kind of now sealed off, and we can always come back after it's dry and do some more. But everything is nice and rounded now and looks good. All the cracks are filled in, and so once that dries, we'll give that some time to dry, and then we'll come back and paint it. While that other side is drying, I wanted to show you, this is another column that we have on the other side of the front porch. And you can see that this one, unlike that other one that the corners were so destroyed, this one has a lot of cracks and things and weathering, especially over on this side. So I'm going to just do the same exact thing. I'm just going to fill all that in with the caulk, and then we'll let it dry, and then we'll do some paint. So we got that one all caulked up too. All the cracks are filled now with all the silicone all the way around. So now we'll just give it some time to dry, and then we will go ahead and paint it after. Okay, just did another coat, so that's a second coat, and I think it's looking pretty good and nice and clean. So I think that's going to do it with that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at this other one. So that's after one coat on this one. You can see how much better looking that is just by getting the paint on it. But I'm really happy with how those cracks filled in with the silicone, and so it left it with a nice smooth surface. So we'll do one more coat on this, and then we'll wrap it up. So there's the final product. We got to do just a little bit of cleanup around the edges there on the concrete, but other than that, that is how it turned out. So it's not brand new, but it at least fixed it enough to where it looks good, and it'll last for a little bit longer, so you don't have to totally redo it. But there's the final product. So thanks for joining me. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up, and that lets us know. It's kind of like a pat on the back, just letting us know that you like kind of the content that we're working on here, and we sure appreciate it. So yeah, if you don't mind hitting that like button and subscribing, we appreciate it. We'll see you next time.